The news has just broken that OpenAI is acquiring Astral, the company behind the high-performance Python tools, UV, ruff, and Tye. This is not just a standard acquisition of a small team. It signals a massive strategic shift for the company, moving beyond just model releases to prioritize developer experience and tooling efficiency. For years, the narrative around artificial intelligence has focused almost exclusively on the models themselves. We talked about parameters, tokens, and intelligence. But now, the focus is shifting to the infrastructure that supports these models. When you look at the architecture of how these tools function, you begin to understand why this acquisition is so significant for enterprise scaling. To understand the impact, you first need to understand what Astral actually brings to the table. They are the creators of UV, a blazingly fast Python package installer and resolver. They also built ruff, a linter that is significantly faster than the traditional tools developers have relied on for decades. And then there is Tye, which provides type-checking capabilities that were previously slow and cumbersome. These are not just minor utilities, they are foundational pieces of the developer ecosystem. When you integrate these into a massive infrastructure like OpenAI, you are fundamentally changing how code is built, tested, and deployed. Here's the thing about legacy pipelines. Most large technology companies run on infrastructure that has been accumulated over years. You have build scripts that are decades old. You have dependency management systems that were designed for a different era of computing. When OpenAI scales its operations, it is not just scaling the models, it is scaling the development environment. If the tools used to write and test the code are slow, the entire development velocity slows down. This creates a bottleneck. Every second lost in the build process is a second where a model update is delayed. Every second of latency in the testing phase is a second where a bug might slip through. Now consider the migration to Astral's architecture. This is not a simple swap of one tool for another. It involves a complete rethinking of the pipeline. The goal here is latency optimization. In the context of enterprise scaling, latency is not just about how fast a model generates text. It is about how fast the development cycle completes. How quickly can a developer write code and see if it works? How quickly can the system verify that a new model update does not break existing functionality? By moving to Astral's architecture, OpenAI is aiming to reduce these times drastically. The speed of UV alone can cut down package resolution times from minutes to seconds. This might sound small, but when you are running thousands of builds across a global team, those seconds add up to hours saved every single day. This brings us to the cost-benefit analysis, which is crucial for enterprise scaling. When you are operating at the scale of OpenAI, the cost of compute is enormous. Every optimization in the software pipeline translates directly to savings in infrastructure costs. If you can run your tests faster, you use less compute time. If you can resolve dependencies faster, you reduce the load on your network and storage systems. The investment in Astral is not just about buying software. It is about buying efficiency. It is about reducing the overhead of development so that more resources can be directed toward the core work of training and deploying models. Think of it like a factory assembly line. If you have a bottleneck at one station, the whole line slows down. You might have the best robots in the world, but if the conveyor belt is jammed, you cannot produce goods. The legacy tools OpenAI was using were that jammed conveyor belt. They were designed for a time when scale was not the primary concern. Astral's tools are designed for the modern era where speed and reliability are paramount. By integrating these tools, OpenAI is essentially upgrading the entire assembly line. The result is a system that can handle more work, with less waste, and with greater speed. There is also a significant competitive advantage here. The industry is seeing a trend where major AI labs are acquiring specialized open-source tooling companies to secure competitive advantages in the developer ecosystem. By owning the tools that developers use, OpenAI is aligning its infrastructure with the best practices of the open-source community. This ensures that their internal processes remain compatible with the wider ecosystem. It prevents fragmentation. It means that when a developer joins the team, they are already familiar with the tools they will be using. This reduces the learning curve and accelerates onboarding. Furthermore, this acquisition highlights a growing maturity in the field. We are moving past the phase where the only metric that mattered was the intelligence of the model. Now, the operational efficiency of the company is just as important. A model that is 10% smarter but takes twice as long to deploy is less valuable than a model that is slightly less powerful but can be updated and improved continuously. The ability to iterate quickly is the new currency of the industry. Astral's architecture provides the foundation for that rapid iteration. The implications for enterprise scaling are profound. When you are building systems that need to support millions of users, every millisecond counts. The latency optimization provided by this migration means that OpenAI can handle more requests with the same infrastructure. It means that the cost per inference can be driven down. It means that the company can scale its operations without a linear increase in costs. This is the kind of efficiency that allows a company to remain profitable while growing rapidly. It is the difference between a startup that burns through cash and a company that builds a sustainable business. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.